Hello, and welcome to Choose Your Own Math Adventure. In this beginner level tutorial, we will explore creating a scene in Scratch coding, specifically how to add text to create dialogue and how to incorporate wait time. I've added in a couple of more sprites, so now we have 4 in total, which means that we need to have coding for each of our sprites so that they can contribute to the scene that we're going to create. So for our first sprite, we're going to begin with the when clicked button, as we always do. And again, we're going to add the pen extension of erase all, make sure his X and Y coordinates are in place. And now we get to add text for him so that he can say something to his peers. And notice how I positioned the sprites so that they're all looking at each other in some way or another. So after the X and Y coordinates, for us to be able to have him say something, you're going to go to the looks code, and then over here we're going to grab the one that says say something for how many seconds. So we're going to have him say, whoops, deleted it. We're going to have him say something about how much money they have for them to be able to go to Wonderland together. So here he is. This is how much they've been able to save. And notice I'm adding in the decimal here, which is important for the math curriculum, that students are able to learn how to read decimal numbers. So we managed to save $200 from our allowances by working together. Exclamation mark to show that it's an exclamatory sentence, and we'll have them say that for about 5 seconds so that it's on the screen long enough for the viewer to be able to read it. So that's the code, and if I click the green flag, you'll be able to see it pop up. So I'll just click stop and move on to the next sprite. So again, we're going to begin with when clicked, and I'm just going to put in the backdrop for the next session after this for lesson 4. So when backdrop, we're going to switch it to school. So it's going to begin with the school backdrop. We're going to make sure that this sprite is in the correct X and Y coordinate that she's in right now. And because the first sprite asked a question, we're going to make sure before this sprite speaks that she waits long enough to listen to his question. That way it's in sequential order. So he asks the question first, and then she could respond. So she's going to wait about 10 seconds for him to finish asking the question. And then under sensing is where you're going to be able to ask the question. So here is the ask and then wait. So she's going to ask back, so how many of us can go? And then she's going to wait. And then we're going to put in a control that's called if then else. Basically, it's if, so she's asking how many of us can go. So if the answer is correct, then something will happen. If something else is inputted, then something else will happen. So we need an operation in there. And we're going to pop the operation in the shape over here. So if the answer equals 4, which is the correct answer of how many people can go with the $200 they have saved. So if the viewer inputs number 4 in the response section, then they will be able to go to Canada's Wonderland, which you can grab out your background again from the looks. So then we're going to be able to switch the background to Canada's Wonderland because they were able to add up how many people can go. And if they did not put an input 4, then we're going to switch it to the playground, which will show that the student did not answer the question correctly. So then they'll be able to try again to try to get to go to Wonderland. Now for character 3, it's just going to be a little bit less of a code. So we're just going to have him wait as well. And then they can say a response as well. And that's everything, and thank you very much for watching this